everybody. Welcome to
Hi,
Dice Jailers. I am Jordan,
I'm Bjorn.
and this week we're going to talk about gifts for gamers.
Yes.
We're really excited about it because, with every holiday coming up soon, also,
Oh,
happy Hanukkah, everyone. I believe it's the 8th day, I think.
It's over.
that
It's
sounds
over. Thanks, Ghost from Nowhere. Yeah,
boys.
uh, I'm bad at what day it is. It's Thursday, right?
It is Thursday.
Good, good,
Unless I
great.
have a calendar that has the day flashing at me on my cell phone, I generally don't know.
Yeah, I should really use my calendar more again, but it's still quarantine.
It's
So
2020.
who
It's the
cares?
same day.
Also, welcome to our last uh us on camera talking to you show of 2020.
Yep,
We are still going to do a rebroadcast of our one shot on New Year's Eve. We're
we
still
are. Come
nailing
hang
down
out.
exactly what time we're gonna start that off at,
We'll
but we'll
figure it
let
out.
you know. And before we talk about gifts and all the gifticality things, Bjorn, how you been, bud?
Really good. So, this was a gift to myself last year. No, I just received it. Um, I backed the Skinny Minis Kickstarter
Mm,
like about like a year ago, and earlier this year we got to select our sets and all that. They arrived within the past week. They're beautiful. They're awesome. Obviously, I have no use for them until we're playing in person again,
right.
but they're a really cool, budget friendly, and also space friendly way to have lots of minis on the map. I was missing one sheet out of all of them. I emailed them just be like, "Hey, I know you guys are super busy. You're still fulfilling Kickstarter orders. When you guys get a chance, this is the one I was missing. I triple checked everything. Again, thank you so much. They're beautiful." Less than 24 hours later, I get a response from them. "Hey, we're so sorry. If you can send us an image of the sheets you got so we know which one to send you, we'll get the rest taken care of." So, Arknight is one of the associated groups. Also, Skinny Minis is now the overall brand. They do Dungeon in a Box.
Yep.
So,
Not a sponsor, but we love them.
no, but big fucking shout out to them for the most amazing customer service. Because if I had gotten a response that said, "Hey, man, we're sorry, we'll get to you when we can get to you because we're fulfilling thousands of Kickstarters," I would have gone, that makes sense. But they're super on top of it. And back when I got Dungeon in a Box as a subscription service, they had some of the best customer service ever. So even though not a sponsor, huge shout out to them right now. They totally made my week. So how are you?
I'm pretty great. I've got some plans that are coming together very slowly, trying to get my brain into life again.
Yeah.
It's getting closer and closer to January when I finally get to start teaching again, which I've been missing a lot. It'll be weird because it won't be my same students as before,
Yep.
and like my old class of students, they were, I had the same kids with me for like a year and a half, 2 years, so you really get to know them and how to teach them. So I'm really
Yeah.
excited, like for all these new kids that I get to teach through video because that's what's safe. Uh, but yeah, just a whole lot of things falling into place, and now I'm playing the waiting game, and that is excruciating for me.
The
Uh,
waiting is the hardest part.
but it is what it is. Uh, Still fun though.
Good.
Just hoping and planning and waiting and making all these little like minute plans for the future that will definitely absolutely change.
Because everything changes right now.
Yeah. But
Because
you know what
yeah,
never changes
what's
is
that?
the joy of giving a gift to somebody.
That's legit though. Like
It's the best thing.
I know people, want to say cliche that it's better to give than receive. Like I won't lie. I have received cool presents in my day that I've friggin' loved, but I don't think I've loved any of them as much as if I give something to somebody and I see them light up when they receive
Exactly.
it. It feels good because you know you did something really cool for them.
Yeah. And so this week we're going to talk about, last minute gift ideas that you can get for the gamer in your life that might be
Yes.
yourself. And to join us in talking about these things,
Yeah.
I thought it would be fun to have someone who makes some of the things and actually made one of the things in particular that I'm going to talk about.
But where would we find a person on a Thursday night?
We'd find that person being the shop runner for the newly christened Crafty McCrafter shop. Good friend of mine, and people in Seattle theater all around will recognize this name, Katie McKellar.
Yeah, it's me.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you for joining
Hi.
us, Katie.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I've loved watching your show from episode 1. So,
You're one of the few people that saw the episode that is not on the internet.
oh yeah.
The greatest episode, possibly in the history of the internet. They say
I'm
greatest.
pretty sure it was.
it's true.
So it's a shame that no one else gets to see it because it was the best.
But keep tuning in. We may attain that again. May.
But talking about gifts for people, especially for gamers, the one of the best ways to break up what to get as a gift for a gamer that they'll actually enjoy and use and love and cherish forever, besides just the fact that you gave it to them.
Yeah.
You got to think about people at like where their stage in gaming is. And so I thought we could talk about first, like, Katie, since you're our guest, we'll start with you. What do you think are some great gifts for those first time gamers? Like, maybe they've just started up their campaign, or like you've planned to start up a campaign in the new year and like, hey, Merry Christmas, here's this thing. I hope you're ready for this game.
Hope you're ready for it to suck your life away.
To
Also, yes.
never do anything else.
No.
Yeah, I think that's great. And just to tack on to what you both were saying, like there's the love languages, and my love language is gift giving, as Jordan can attest to. I just drop by his house and give him things sometimes. But
That is very true. It is wonderful.
I love giving things. So this is actually great because I just started playing campaign with my cousins this year and introduced them to D&D, and it's a 9-year-old and a 14-year-old, or no, he just turned 15. Anyways, so I think a great thing is dice. Not everyone needs dice. Everyone needs dice.
Absolutely.
Everyone needs more dice.
Everyone needs more dice, and it's just such a unique gift to give someone who's just starting. And if they don't stick with D&D, it's still something they can use. Even if maybe they play Magic, or maybe they play Yahtzee. I don't know, other dice games.
And also, dice are just pretty.
And they're so pretty. And of course, source books. I think source books are, Good Player's Handbook is a great, or Monster Manual or Volos or something is a great. Tasha's.
Oh yeah.
Tasha's.
Tasha's. Yeah, I fully agree on the dice thing. It's what I'm actually doing for a couple very important people in my life that are just starting to play D&D is I found I asked for a few of their favorite colors, and I'm getting them their first dice sets that are in those colors. And like dice you can find for relatively cheap. Like you can go to your local game shop that probably really needs the
revenue.
Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. They really could use the revenue, and so just like throw a mask on, go to your local game shop, and they've usually got sets of dice, and even starter sets of dice that are like not super intricate are still amazingly cool looking.
And that's a great point to bring up about dice are a really cool thing. Like you said, you can get somewhere locally. You don't need to order it. You don't need to buy it from this like massive mega corp. Like Outsider Comics right here in Fremont, which I think I've given a shout out to on every show.
Just
and if
about.
I haven't, I should, because they're so wonderful. They sell dice there. I own multiple sets of dice I bought from them. But if I were going to be giving someone a gift, say, I don't know, December 25th, because I hear people do that, I could go in there on the 23rd, buy those dice, have them in my hand, and be ready to present them 2 days later. So they can be a great last minute gift. And like you guys have said, like they're personal, they're fun, and you can get them locally. So yes, big ups to dice, especially for the beginner. Get them the resin dice. You don't have to go all no tungsten dice for the first time player.
You're just gonna wreck your table.
If anyone out there wants to buy me tungsten dice, however, I will accept them.
I will jump on that bandwagon, or some gemstones. Like my husband has some amethyst. I would love some amethyst. So, you know.
So
Way
as
to
you can see, everyone, we're really just sharing what gifts we're going to eventually get each other. That's really what this
This is
show
actually
is
just a
for, is
wish
just to figure out what my
episode.
friends want. Like, Gilson, if you're watching, drop in the chat what you want.
Yeah, let us know.
That's all the show has really been for. It's just these last 16 weeks are just leading up to. So what do my friends want for Christmas?
Yeah, and just to sort of tack on with the dice thing too, there are some dice companies that, in addition to your standard 7 die sets, some of them do 11-piece sets that give you two
Mhm.
d20s and four d4s. Those are really good for the rogues and the wizards in your life
Yeah.
because they need their fireball and they need their sneak attack.
Hmm.
And yeah, like those can be really fun things if you know someone is playing a certain class. Like you guys said, either their favorite colors, or if you're like, oh, they're gonna need a bunch of d6, you can give them a match set with all those things.
Yeah, I mean, because you can also, when you're looking for dice, even if you know almost nothing about D&D, uh, there are the little, just like the Chessex cubes. But also, maybe grab one of those Warhammer cubes that's just all D6s, because they're super useful, and there's a
Yes.
lot of things in D&D that you roll like 10 million six-sided dice. And so those Warhammer cubes of just D6s, which are the regular, normal six-sided dice, uh, they're so useful. They can come in so handy.
And
Uh,
also, what's great about that too is that D6 roll over into so many other tabletop games. Like, you know, I think
mhm.
of Honey Heist, like
Yeah,
which is only D6 really.
and
Um,
like one of my favorite non D&D systems, Exalted. It is all D6s.
and I
Uh,
think Fate is as well.
yeah, Fate's on
Mhm.
the
Yes.
D6 system as well.
Even if you're
And
using
so
Pix, if you don't use their standard die, they got a really good breakdown for how it works with them.
mhm. And it's like dice are just super versatile. They're a great gift. And
Yeah.
also, if you're like me and kind of broke, they're not too expensive unless you get like the really really amazingly epic cool artisan shop ones.
Yes.
Which, I mean, if you're gonna go for broke on something big, like, yo, go for it. uh because
I think
I think that's like one of the really cool things about buying dice as a gift, is that you can drop like $8-9 and still get an okay set that's kind of cool in like someone's favorite color. Or you can go and like, I'm gonna drop $100 on one D20 that like someone like die cast in like a particular metal, probably tungsten, and
or
then
it's a
like,
meteor.
yeah, like meteorite D20, and like hand painted and like etched in the numbers themselves, or like custom carved in like the person you're giving it to's name as the 20. Like, it can be so artistically amazing.
And there are also so many Kickstarters that are always happening with different kind of dice. A fun
So
thing,
dangerous.
I know it
I
is.
know.
It's so
uh,
dangerous.
I think a fun gift, and I've done this before, is you bid the Kickstarter level for them, and then you just send them a screenshot. Here's what I got you. It's going to be a while until this all comes together, but I wanted you to get in. And then when it comes time to select it, you then get to send them the link to the set selector, and you get to
Hmm.
go pick your dice. If you want to be really mean, you get them 2 sets because that's even harder to pick than just one.
How dare you? How
One
dare you
set
do something like that to make a friend agonize over?
because I'm me. That's
Cause
chaotic good right there. That's chaotic good. You're doing something kind, you're making them suffer just a little.
just a little bit
Yep.
of suffering.
God,
That's
And
how
you,
you do chaotic
have we
good,
taken
folks.
an episode to go over the alignment chart? Because we
you
might need
should,
to.
Oh yeah.
but you should relate it to your real life,
Mhm.
and like,
I
yeah.
don't want to tell people that.
Well, not about your own alignment, but about examples. I just another shout out is, so I think local is great, and if you are, another way to do local, if you're not comfortable going in person right now, and again, like
Hmm.
taking that screenshot, still shopping small, is of course Etsy. Etsy is a
Oh yeah.
wonderful resource. I'm going to shout out Cozy Gamer Shop, which is it's a Portland company. It's a
Hmm.
local one, and they make amazing dice. I have bought so many dice from them, and they're super kind, great customer service. And like, yeah, they always send me like an extra random dice. I
Nice.
keep getting these random dice with it. So I'm like, oh, I got all these presents, and now I have some extra D4.
If we're going to shout out Etsy shops, if you give people dice, that's great. Maybe they already have a lot of dice, or maybe they have their favorite set of dice. A great thing to have is a little case for your dice.
Oh,
So I
oh,
have a, I
you
have a,
mean like the one that Katie herself made?
Ooh, and yours is good too, though.
so
Yeah.
yeah, like bags like that, or like this guy. This is from a Etsy shop up in Stanwood. They're called Eldritch Arts, and
Mm-hmm.
this is my barbarian dice case. Um, I fucking love it. And yeah, when I play my barbarian, I have the set of dice in here that only my barbarian's allowed to use, and this is the case for them. But yeah, they're local. If you were to get that for somebody right now, they're all handmade, so you're going to be looking at a few weeks till they would get it. But again, you can purchase it, you can send them the link, you can buy them a gift card to some of these
Yeah.
places. And so you figure out what the price would be with shipping and all that, buy them that gift card and go, here, select your own dice case, because being able to have that little vault for them is really
Mhm.
cool, because I have a set of metal dice in there that are very very important to me, but I keep them separate from all my other dice.
See, I was gonna save talking about like dice bags and for like people that have been playing a little bit and that aren't quite beginners, just because like when I think about gift for beginners, I'm thinking about like it's their first game, so like whatever system you're playing in, the player's handbook for whatever that is going to be perfect. Dice are going to be perfect for a thing like that. Uh, Also, I was thinking like a if there is a subscription to uh a uh a series of professionals playing like professional voice actors playing whatever game. I know that most of the games that are online are just free in an audiobook form, but some of them have like Patreon subscriptions and stuff
Sure.
like that. And so gifting, like asking whoever you're getting the gift for if they have a favorite show, gifting them like a Patreon subscription to that, I think is a hugely good idea. Especially for a last minute gift, because like a digital subscription you can get like the day of.
True.
Uh,
I
I would
think on
also to piggyback on that. I kind of want to go up something you had said, Katie, when you were talking about like source books and whatnot. Like a player's handbook is great, and every player needs one. And so if you know somebody who's getting into it and they have a DM they're working with, listen to Katie, get them the player's handbook.
mhm.
But if you don't know if that exists in our life, the essentials kit or the Stranger Things kit. Both of those have really good pre-generated characters in them. The Stranger Things is a great one-shot adventure, can be run over 3 sessions. You can do it as a one-shot, and the Essentials kit is, I recommend it to anyone. I'm in love with it. I'm in love. Duh. Yes. Ispire Peak me, please.
I also think that along that with the digital subscription with the source book is D&D Beyond. Like,
Oh yeah.
you know, that is
Good
it's
call.
such an easy thing, and is so makes your life so much easier, especially in this digital world that we are right now, with it being 2020 and everything. And
Mhm.
I think they just came out with ways to make it easier to gift source books,
They
to
did.
gift
They did.
subscriptions and things like that. And so that's an excellent way to get someone rolling.
And like
Eh,
shout out
crazy what it
shout
is.
out to D&D Beyond, please sponsor us,
Yeah.
because we love
We'll
you.
talk about you
Uh,
all the time.
but
All the
there's
time.
right now there's also a thing on D&D Beyond where if you give someone a gift, you get a digital dice set that looks like your dice wrapped up as a present. So
Yeah.
What?
yeah, that's a thing.
Oh, I should get
Anyway.
my cousins a D&D Beyond subscription.
I'm already trying to figure out who I can buy a gift for on there
Yep.
and what I'm going to buy them, because I want those friggin' dice.
Yeah, the problem with gifting most of the things for my friends on D&D Beyond is that most of the people that I know that like have D&D Beyond and use it have already bought the giant spent too much money packs. Don't really have anything to get you.
I know.
Problem. Well, here's something: is the problem when you're in like a married household and you both, or a partnership or something, and you both play a ton of D&D. Why would you get two? And so then, like, I'm DMing a game, but Jordan's got all the books, and I can't get them. I can't access them. And there's no reason for me to buy them again. It's frustrating. So
That's
there
why
you go.
content sharing is important.
But that means they have to be in your game too.
Kind
What
of.
if I don't want them in my game? I'm kidding.
Uh,
In all my games.
Just have him as an NPC. Like,
There you go. There you go.
yeah.
but yeah. And now, watching the clock, we can shift into these gift ideas for people that have been playing for a while. They maybe haven't been playing for like years and years and years like we have, but you know, they're in like their second, third game, or their first game has been going for like 2 years or so. Uh, we already brought up like dice bags, dice containers, uh, because if they're anything like me, they have become a uh
A dice goblin.
yes, the right phrase is a fucking goblin, uh, and just have too many dice.
Yep.
And so
That's not
dice bags
possible.
are great, especially ones I don't know that have little pouches inside them to separate your different sets of dice. I don't know where you could possibly ever find
I don't
something
think
like
they
that.
exist.
I don't know. Someone should really make those.
I
I
mean,
should make
if
those.
somebody
you
did
know?
that, you know what it would be, Jordan? It'd be an act of magic.
God, it's the end of the year, Bjorn.
What's funny is my day job is doing essentially a magic show for kids. So
So you can really see just how bad I am at that.
no, you're excellent. You're doing a great job. It's also an
Like,
encouragement
I do
show.
it just as good as one of the kids would be. You're like,
Yeah,
"That's pretty-
accurate.
you know what? For someone who's 7, that's pretty good.
It's pretty great.
Uh,
Well, Jordan, it's funny because I Jordan has one of the dice bags, the very first ones I made.
mhm.
And I at the start of this quarantine, I started making. I was like, I love to sew. I love to quilt. Both of my grandmothers are sewists for different things, and so I was like, I dove into mask making, and I was like, I need something to hold my dice. I have too many dice for this awesome leather bag I have, and so I started making them,
Nice.
which is where Jordan's came from. But
Yeah.
his is I made it better. I made it a lot better. I need to make you a new one. So you need more room. You need more anyways because you have too many dice for the bag I made.
I
you,
mean,
so.
that's very true. But it does hold all of my glow in the dark dice. Because I got glow in the dark dice. I don't know why. Because I'm a goblin, people.
I know.
You honestly are, and that's okay. Like Jordan's the guy that when he puts out his rolling tray on my table back when we were in the before times, which is not a small rolling tray, and then dumps out his dice. It's overflow. It looks like a Chicago style pizza. It's so tall and burbling over with toppings, and then somehow he's able to go through all of them and establish which ones are and are not in dice jail.
It's
There it
this.
is. Yeah.
This is what
Yeah.
he's talking about.
See, I don't
Only
understand
more,
how you
there's
can.
more dice than that.
I don't understand how you're. There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. Yep. Yep.
Let's see. I don't think they're in arm's reach, but I have another bag of dice still.
You need better organization. But
But I mean, right there, we saw your rolling tray. Rolling trays are another great gift.
Mm-hmm.
they are.
Rolling
they
trays
and
are
there's
awesome.
the cool thing about all of these is that there's so many options too. Like you have a leather one that's got the snaps.
Mm-hmm.
There's also wooden ones, if you want to go big,
Yep.
you could go to like somewhere like Wormwood, but there's also smaller companies and places like
Mhm.
that. We actually, speaking of supporting Kickstarters,
Yeah.
for my husband for his birthday last year, I don't know, at some point,
What
I
is time?
supported the tiles for Wormwood.
Those are so
Mm.
cool.
Those are super
Yeah.
cool.
And so we've got like I have my little dice jail, of course, and then the rolling trays and like there's just really great. There's all kinds of sizes. And then there for bags too. Like the bags I make is they have pockets so you can sort them, but there's also
The
some that don't
pockets.
have pockets. There's some that are made of leather. There's some that there's just so you can customize them. Like
And there's a cool thing about a lot of the wooden rolling trays that you mentioned, that a lot of the wooden rolling trays double as dice vaults and dice
Yeah.
cases. So that can be a nice like dual purpose gift for the intermediate player in your life. I can say words, it's only my job.
The other thing with those intermediate players, there's a good chance they've been playing the same character for a while. This is
Mhm.
going off of the Kickstarter because mine is coming to me next week. you can get them a Hero Forge. Man, that's showing up bad because of the
Nice.
light.
Mm.
But Hero Forge is a custom minis site. You can now get them in full color, which I
Mhm.
backed. My wizard arrives next week. I'm so excited.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I have
Getting
one of
getting a
my
mini
Barbarian.
made is such a good thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like the dice. It's a huge thing of creativity, and it also can be super personal because like you have your character that you've crafted and you've made and you care about more than I care about the characters I make because I always have a backup character because I assume they'll die. Uh, some
I
people
assume your
bec-
characters will die too. I don't know how I haven't killed your character in my
I
campaign. But
you've certainly tried. And by
I
that by
don't
you've
know how your character's still alive. I'm
by
not
you've certainly tried, I mean that
Yes.
one metal D20 that you have has certainly tried. That thing wants to murder my character so
Yeah.
bad.
It really does.
It's your bloody snitch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is. It's this bronze behemoth that just has it out for him.
It really does.
I have a bronze metal dice too because they're awesome.
Metal dice will murder things.
Yes.
They
do.
just will.
But yeah, like you can get like either more expensive dice sets for
Mhm.
those intermediate players. I'm big on custom minis because I'm a dork and I'm me. And I love
Yes.
having those.
I think what's cool about the custom minis too is that even when you eventually kill off Jordan's character and he's got a custom mini, he can use that custom mini in a future game.
Yep.
Like, and it brings back those memories, but also it's a great mini to use in the future, and you have that in your collection then to use.
Yeah. And when you get into getting gifts for intermediate players, like you have the custom minis that are amazing, they're wonderful, like as well as you can give the person that you're gifting an unpainted mini and a paint kit.
Yep.
And especially in the now times, you've got time to cultivate a new skill. So like here's this gift. Also, if you want to get better at painting, here.
Bob Ross it up.
Exactly.
And then like going back to some of the subscriptions or things you can get online that you were talking about earlier, Katie, I think with your more intermediate players, you can look at different types of subscriptions. That's where you can be like, hey, I paid for a month or maybe a year of Roll20 for you, or
Mhm.
Dungeon Fog, or World Anvil, if they're a DM, to go, here's what you have to run these games online or be part of them. Like there are a lot of ways to do that. Like I said, I think D&D Beyond, amazing for a beginner, but maybe some of these other ones, like, oh, you have your D&D Beyond? Well, do you have Dungeon Fog? Now you can create
Mhm.
dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
As
Yeah,
well
for
as
sure.
like different map maker programs and stuff like that.
I also think we were actually just chatting about. I am an avid note taker in
Yes.
my games, and I've tried. I take notes on. I've tried on the computer. I do that in one of my campaigns, which is helpful to search things. But I love writing in a journal itself
Mhm.
because I can mark the pages. I can do all these things, and it's just so wonderful. I also love journals. I
Yep.
love stationery. I'm a stage manager and production manager. I love stationery. And so, but that's a great thing is like a journal or a notebook, or you go to something like the Rook and the Raven, or there's all these other
Mhm.
small companies that have specifically for a campaign a way to organize your notes and organize how you're tracking things. And
Mhm.
they have dry erase options. Like it's unlimited. It's
Yes.
definitely one of the things I asked for this year. Um,
Because who doesn't love a good journal?
I love journals so
Like
much.
Like
it
a
sounds
bandolier of
kind of
pens and
dorky, but
pencils.
gods,
Yeah,
journals are great.
they are so great. And I like got okay. Little sidetrack. I actually got this journal when I travel a lot for work. I'm very, very fortunate to, well, not now. I was very fortunate to travel a lot for work. And last year, I guess, I was in England and I found this hand-bound, beautiful handmade journal in this small village in England. And I got it and I was like, someone needs this journal.
And
And I
I'm
couldn't give
someone.
it. I'm not someone. I couldn't give it away. I was like, I need this journal.
Yep.
Yeah, I should mention that like all of these things when you go, especially if you are also a D&D player or a tabletop role playing player in general, you're going to go and look for these gifts for your friends and you're going to get yourself one too, and it's okay.
It's okay. Treat yourself.
It
Sue
is
yourself.
okay.
It's 2020.
Yeah.
Like when I was talking about buying dice for a few very important people in my life, at the same time I also bought myself these sets of dice. So yeah.
Back, like, well, some of those Kickstarters I've talked about where I'm like, oh, I've backed one of these as a gift. I've backed one of these as a gift. I've also backed it for myself. Like,
Oh
let,
yeah.
let's be real.
It is perfectly fine, and it's almost standard.
Just embrace it. It's
Yeah.
going to happen. You should double your budget for gifts because you're going to get these for yourself too.
Because especially when you get playing more often and getting into more like the intermediate advanced kinds of players, the stuff that is going to be helpful to you is very much going to be the same kind of thing that you're going to want to get for your friend, like especially with how easy and cost effective that 3D printing has gotten. There are so many shops that have all of these little things, like I mean, from our show's name, Dice Jails.
I need a dice jail.
I'm already planning to print you one, so
Yes.
It's a rule. If you're a guest on this show, you automatically get one.
yeah, it's just a thing. But like Dice Jails, which are dumb, there is
They're
no
not
point
dumb.
in having them
They
except
deserve
they're
it.
a fun flex. But
We
like,
talked about superstition way back at the beginning.
Mhm.
It's important.
what are some
Yeah.
other like more like a Dice Jail, like the more toy aspect of like extra things that you can think of for
mean,
for
like,
D&D?
A dice tower. Like,
Mhm.
Dice towers
right?
are awesome. Yeah,
Oh
They're
yeah.
beautiful. They're fun. They keep your stuff on the table theoretically.
in theory.
And
in
sometimes
theory.
they look cool.
Yeah.
Like this one
I-
that looks like a
and-
tower.
And it's so cool. What's so cool about all of these things is that you can support artists in so many ways.
Mhm.
Like, there are so many. I think of, a rolling tray, for example. She won't watch this until she's gotten it. So my sister-in-law, we found like the perfect dice tray for her that's got a beautifully embroidered turtle on it.
Mhm.
And like, it is absolutely perfect for her and is beautiful and will work a lot better than the ones I was experimenting with making. And so like,
I don't know, the one you made me still works very well.
it works. Okay, good.
Oh yeah.
I'm still working on that pattern.
But like you said, being able to support independent artists can be great. I bought myself at Geek Girl Con last year. I wish I could remember the name of the artist, and I'll be flayed by a couple people I know because this is not the first time I've forgotten her name. But it's this really cool rolling tray that she did like this resin layer over pages from 3.5 books.
Oh,
And
cool.
so it's the entry for the aspect of Tiamat as a rolling tray.
Yep.
I like dragons. I like Bahamut. I like Tiamat. I have a Tiamat rolling tray.
And
so
that-
it's just a
Awesome.
little thing
Him
that I got
liking that
myself.
rolling tray is the only thing that saved me from that big metal D20.
I know. I've actually found the rolling tray can handle the metal D20s. I've started using it again.
Hmm.
I was afraid of
You're
damage
not
you get by
safe
testing it in
anymore.
the corner. It's fine. I can do it. Okay.
Well, goodbye, Bandit.
Yep.
Say goodbye to your character.
Exactly.
Well,
But I mean, not just that. There are various websites where you can buy nerdy clothing. You can find lots of D&D clothing or mashup
Mhm.
clothing made by so many independent artists. Because for the criticisms I will have against WotC, and there are still many, they're really cool about letting people use their properties without having to pay them in various ways. And
That's
I'll
true.
give them credit for that. Fire Mike Merles, but
I mean, and I think, with that, like Redbubble, that's what it's
Mhm.
called,
I
right?
love Redbubble.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've got a whole bunch of amazing adventures on stickers on our car because of
Mhm.
Redbubble, and or along those lines, like gift cards too. Like,
Yep.
I know I know Jordan did, I know Gilson did if he's watching. We definitely asked for Critical Role gift cards because
Yep.
suckers for all their products.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
wearing my
Gilson's
Max hoodie
watching. I
and
see him
my
in the chat.
Haldor shirt.
Which, shouldn't you be in class, Gilson?
No, he's done with the quarter.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Congratulations, buddy.
Something along the lines of, I mean, there's so many things. Like, You could get so many trinkets, like the Funko
trinket?
Pops, all
Like
kinds
You
of
a
could
trinket,
get
a
you
bear.
like
could
a
get
trinket. You
a
could get a
trinket
A
trinket.
mini.
bear.
You could get a trinket Funko Pop.
No, an
If
actual bear. Get them.
get him a bear,
Get them a
Do
bear
not
named
do
Trinket.
not.
a real
Do it.
bear.
Do it.
Do it.
I've been to the zoo. They've got bears.
Don't.
They're bored. They're
Yeah, they
bored.
like-
Right. Get him a bear.
Yeah.
I'm so scared.
Um, but no, what I was
Go to
gonna
the
say,
zoo. Take a bear. Tell them my name, Bjorn. It means
Do
bear.
not
That is
steal a
okay. Go get
bear.
one.
just go get him a bear.
Oh no.
You have my permission.
Do
Go steal
not,
it.
Bjorn, don't get anybody mauled. Do not try to steal a bear.
Not do it. Also, along those lines is like 2020. We all need some relaxation.
Yes.
Cantrip candles.
Yes. Oh,
One.
get out of my head. I was going to mention them next.
They're so good. They're so hard to get because they're so good. They're restocking tomorrow at 11 a.m. You have to get on at 11 a.m. Pacific
Yeah.
Standard Time to get something.
'Cause they sell out so quick.
They sell out so quick. If you get their bigger version, there's D20 inside. I mean, come on, it's a
Outsider
metal
Comics
D20.
sells them.
Huh?
Outsider Comics sells them.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Wow.
that's where I get all of mine.
I managed to get online just in time to get
Which one
some
is
of
that?
these.
Which one is that?
This one is the Dungeon Depths, and then I've also
Oh.
got the Sweet Fig Farmhouse. And
That is my favorite one.
it's so good.
Mm.
I'll just like have them lit while I'm playing D&D. It's just like
Yes,
so
we-
relaxing. Or like stressful work day. I just light my candle.
We would at times, back when we could have people over here for games, like we would light one of the cantrip candles just to give that extra ambiance.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And there's, Cantrip is amazing. It's a black-owned company. It's fucking fantastic. It's in
Mhm.
LA.
They're so cool.
They're so cool. But there's also other companies. Like there's it's called, I brought up all my fun places. There's this one on Etsy called D&D Apothecary that has it's on break right now, but they have candles that we have a series of them. There's a Fearbolg bakery one that smells like blueberries and is so good. They've also got like soaps that have dice in them, like, and there's bath bombs that have dice and like
Yeah.
ways to do this self-care in this crazy world we live in, even outside of 2020. We live in the US, which is a very stressful place to live in.
Right.
And
True that.
to have something to just calm down and then you get a beautiful D20 at the end of it is glorious.
Or some of them have glorious, very nice, appreciate it.
God, I want that robe so much.
It would look.
I think
Smash
someone
it.
might be getting it for
Oh.
Christmas.
I would say that robe would look amazing on you, but even better on my bedroom floor.
I'm just waiting for the shop to restock in my size. I want that robe so bad.
But yeah, I've gotten a couple of bath bombs that didn't just have a D20; they had a full fucking dice set. in them.
Oh,
Mhm.
So, yeah, those are fun treat yourself days, and all of a sudden you see a set of 7 dice popping up in the bath,
that's amazing.
and you can test how well they roll while you're taking a bath. Little water spin test. That's what you do. You see if they're properly weighted. You spin them in the water.
Just because you're right doesn't mean it's not funny.
I wanted a bath bomb with like a D20 plus, I would love a full set. But now I want 'em for that reason.
I will not lie to you. One of the best ways in this world to relax. Slight disclaimer: you have to like whiskey, and if you don't, then this
I love
won't.
whiskey.
Perfect.
I'm there.
You get yourself at least a decent bourbon. Pour yourself 2 to 3 fingers worth of that.
Mhm.
Get yourself a bath bomb, maybe like a, I don't know, vanilla oak scent. One of those. Your lighting is nothing but candles.
Mhm.
You get that as
Cantrip candles.
ideal. The water should be as hot as your skin can possibly stand. And you climb into that sumbitch with your bath bomb with the dice in it, and you grab that whiskey, and you just stay there until the water is not worth staying in no more.
And now, internet, you get the lovely, lovely mental image that I hope someone makes fan art of just Bjorn's hair in a bath. Just Bjorn, just only face out of the water with just his hair.
I love baths. I love to be a pampered princess. I love
Oh,
baths.
oh, me too. This is the sign of true love. I will have to tell you, my husband sometimes in the morning when we live in like this basement apartment, so it gets really cold, which is amazing because I am not a heat person.
Mhm.
And it's just very cold, and he'll wake up first and he'll go make a bath ready for me like on a Saturday or Sunday morning, and then like and I'll get in there with either a CBD bath bomb or like, but he'll light all the candles and I'm like, yep, it's perfect. And if it's a weekend, yeah, couple fingers worth of scotch
Oh yeah.
down.
Oh yeah. And that's really to say that like there's something to be said for giving these gifts to people rather than getting them for yourself. Is there's really it feels great. And like and also this is to mention that like all of these things that we're talking about, they're not necessarily D&D related, but they're not D&D and tabletop role playing game associated because there are so many
Fun
things that
tie-ins.
go into it. Like because one, if you're playing, I don't know, in a relatively serious group, there's no way that you're going to be able to stay in character and have fun if you're stressed out as all fuck. Like it's just impossible. As well as like there are things other than just dice and dice towers and dice bags to get people. Uh like a thing that I got for myself recently, which has made a noticeable difference on how I look on this stream, is I got a ring light. And that can be a big thing for your tabletop player right now because we're all playing either over just voice chat or over video chat.
Yep.
And if you have a group that's playing over video chat, get your person a ring light, like so that they can see the rest of their group.
Upgrade their
And
camera.
their group can see them. Yeah. Like little things like that are like they're tabletop role playing game adjacent, and definitely think of those for your gifts for your tabletop friends as well.
And those types of things are so versatile too. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I mean, I also think of like a headset. Like I got
Absolutely.
this one because I'm on calls for work all the time, and I play a lot of campaigns right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so like it's just it makes my life so much better, and people can hear me better. And um, something else I thought of with that is you could make a custom little gift basket of like, this is your D&D night gift basket. It's got
Mm-hmm.
some scotch or bourbon in it, and or maybe they don't drink. You got some whatever their favorite beverage and crunchy snack because you have
Yep.
to have a crunchy snack while
Absolutely.
you play.
Yeah. Peanut butter filled pretzels.
Yes.
I believe that's
Mhm.
the go-to.
Yes. Mine right now is the jalapeno Cheetos, but those as well.
And going on the snack train, my favorite non-crunchy snack for D&D playing, cookie dough ice cream, my dudes.
Ooh, yeah.
Wrong.
That's my
Wrong.
On
joint.
that one, mochi. Like ice cream
Oh.
mochi.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm just gonna go savory and go completely away from all that. I'm like, I just want some jerky and cheese. But
Because
This is how I
jerky's
did.
weirdly expensive, so like, gift that. People will appreciate it.
I
do
just
that.
saw
No, like you can get some good jerky or some really good smoked salmon.
Mm-hmm.
I also saw recently they have a jerky subscription box. So like get someone the gift that keeps on giving. Get them a
I don't know
subscription
why
box
I'm
and they can sample
surprised.
jerkies and make their like charcuterie board of jerkies.
I don't know why I'm surprised. There's a box for everything.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, but talking on the subscription boxes, we're kind of going into our more advanced player
Mm-hmm.
for the last part of this, and maybe this person maybe they are a DM, or maybe they've expressed interest in being a DM.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked about them earlier with the Kickstarter I backed to get all those skinny minis. Dungeon in a Box. Dungeon in a Box is an awesome subscription
Oh, yeah.
service. You get a box. It has a one-shot adventure in it, and if you keep buying them, you get a continuous adventure that you can choose to tie together or not. But it also is filled with skinny minis for all the monsters you'll probably need in the adventure. And then they pull usually a couple of the Reaper Bones minis, so you get a couple 3D minis along with it, and it's mailed monthly. The only reason I stopped getting it is my apartment is small. I'm out of
Yes.
space. I can't have more boxes and more minis right now.
Really can.
Otherwise I would have kept getting it. Like
Yep.
the adventures are cool, they're fun. Some of them are really silly. And they're what I think is great about them is you can either use them by themselves or for my campaign. There have been many times where I've gone, oh, I love this bit. Okay, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to throw it here because my players are traveling somewhere by cart. I'm going to use this one shot that's an escort mission, and now they're doing that.
Yep.
So it can also help give those either newbie or friggin' experienced DMs just that extra bump of creativity because I think any DM will tell you part of doing it is just stealing from other stuff to build these stories. Like,
So I thought of a thing for like a more advanced player or a DM. Just tell me, I'll gauge this just off of your reactions, but just how cool would it be if someone took one of your favorite characters or maybe a map that you roughly made for a D&D campaign that you were running and I don't know, just commissioned an artist to draw it for you?
Yeah.
and that's amazing because that is so unique and it's truly one of a kind, and it would mean a lot, I think, to
Yeah.
anyone.
I mean, there's a campaign that Jordan and I are playing, and one of our friends is doing that for our whole campaign as a winter
Awesome.
solstice gift. He's commissioning an artist friend of his who's also, this is a hard time for artists, so
Yeah.
support them. Anyway,
Give artists your money.
They need
give
it.
them your.
Well,
Anyways, but it's a great thing. It's a great gift to other players in your campaign, to your DM, especially like, yeah, I think the maps is a great idea, but it's just like it's multifaceted benefit for everyone.
Yeah. That was the one that like when I was thinking up stuff for this episode, I was like, what's the one biggest thing? Yeah, getting someone to draw like a portrait of my character for me, that would be the coolest.
I also think something else that is really nice is oh, I don't know about y'all, but we all have like the cups we drink from for our game, right?
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
yep. And there's some amazing artists who are making. I know I have that one too. But there's some amazing artists who are making these beautiful mugs. I stumbled across one recently that I've been following because she makes these beautiful like they're clay but they're steins, and they have a stat block on the side, or they say
Nice.
like dungeon master in this cool stamp. and,
Excuse
like,
me, what?
yeah. Her name's like Lindsay. I don't remember what it is, but it's super dope.
Okay,
And they're beautiful.
looking that up. Looking that up
I
later.
will click on. I'll figure out. I opened all the things because I wanted to. Oh, Lindsay M. Dillon is her name, and she's in
Writing
California,
it
and it's
down.
super dope.
Yep.
I would also say if you want to give this is not a physical gift you're giving. If you want to give a gift to a DM, if you're playing a campaign and you know that your DM never gets to play. I'm very lucky as a DM. I get to play weekly. I'm in a separate campaign. We just started Rime of the Frost Maiden. I'm super excited to play it. But there are a lot of DMs that don't get to play. And no matter how much you like DMing, there's a part of you that misses being a player sometimes, of not having to do all the work. Get together with your group, figure out who is willing to, and run a one shot for them. And be like, hey, this week, you don't have to prepare shit other than roll up a blank level character because you're playing that week, baby. And I guarantee if you have that forever DM in your life, they will appreciate it so much.
Absolutely. And that's a great thing to do, especially if you are again, like me and most artists right now, kind of fucking broke.
Yep.
It's like it's a gift that it takes your time and effort rather than your money.
Yeah.
And so that's one that you can do very, very easily.
And see, like maybe you're not, you don't consider yourself a DM. You're like, well, I couldn't write an adventure. Okay, like I said, take everyone else in the group, go on the DMs Guild, all these independently created adventures, chip your money in together, buy one of those one shots.
And go back to our episode like what 4 or 5 weeks ago where we talked about what you might want to do when first time DMing. Give that a watch and then get after it.
Yeah, and you could do that for your DM. Give them a chance to play. You know, like I won't lie. If they're not a forever DM, they'll still appreciate it. Probably not quite as much. So don't expect them to shower you with praise. But if they are that forever DM,
Mhm.
seriously, do this for them. Give them a chance to be a player for a week. They will be delighted in it, and you will probably see them create. Odds are one of the silliest fucking characters you've ever seen because they have too many ideas.
Oh
It'll be
yeah.
beautiful.
I think it's a really big part of that too. It's the gift of time, and
Hmm.
that is, and I think that that's a big thing with gift giving is that whether it's I am going to give you, I'm going to spend this time, create this one shot, look up some really great things to spin into this one shot or whatever it is, or it's I'm going to think really hard and think about you and how much I treasure you
Mhm.
and get create a gift based on that. And whether that's making something,
Hmm.
because I think um, I'm a little biased. I like to make things,
You
but
do.
you can also make things for people. And like if you do handcrafts, if you do cross stitch, you do embroidery, you sew, whatever it is, making those little things is it shows how much time you put into it to care for someone too. And I think that
Hmm.
that's when I get something, whether, and I think that's great. It doesn't have to be a thing, whether
Yeah.
it's I, this game I mentioned with my cousins, we flip flop because DMing for a 9-year-old is so much. And so we we flip flop. And so we have our campaign that's spun off from a one shot, and I will DM, and then the next week my 9-year-old cousin has started DMing. And so he'll DM, and
That's
it's
What?
cool.
adorable and I love it so much. And then I'll DM, I'll continue our campaign, and then Jordan, my husband, will DM,
Hmm.
and it's a way for us to contribute to our community we've built of this campaign, and it's just really lovely.
Well, on that note, a friend of mine, he's a DM, and his players gifted him what I think maybe the coolest gift ever. And not every group of players has the capability of doing this, but they took this entire first arc of the adventure he had run, and through compiling all of their notes and discussing it, they basically turned it into novelized form. And they gave him like the novel of the entire first arc of their adventure. Yeah, when he posted, I was blown away, and I went, that's so cool that there
That's
was
super
this like
cool.
yeah. And it was obviously, a labor of love and a ton of work. So I don't throw that idea out there for anybody that doesn't have the notes or the know-how to do it, because we're not all writers. But what I say with that is, like, play to your strengths. Like, if you know
Mhm.
there's something you're good at creating, or maybe you're a really good cook, and so when we're out of the now times and y'all can gather again, huge shout out to our friend Phoenix, who,
Oh, when he made that brisket,
yep,
yo.
he
Hmm.
smoked a brisket, and he just surprised all of us by going, hey, I'm going to bring the food for gaming this week. And he brought a massive amount of home smoked brisket,
It
and
was
it
so
was
good.
I ate more beef than I should have in a day, but it was
Hmm.
delicious. And yeah, like, you can do things like that, and not only will your DM, your entire group will appreciate you so much, but he was just like, I wanted to do something nice for my friends, so here's brisket. That's not an easy thing to make, but I mean, yeah, if you can make brisket, message me.
Make brisket, make brisket for
Well,
Bjorn.
and all these
Love
gift
brisket.
ideas and the things that we've talked about, they all come down to things that Bjorn and I've said over this show for all 16 weeks at least once every episode. We mention how important it is just to be good to yourselves and your fellow players, and that's
Absolutely.
most of what these gifts are. It's just showing that you care about someone else, which I mean, it's kind of in short supply as far as because we can't actually see each other that often.
I mean,
Uh,
she's been on this show as a guest and as a player, but Jamie will often talk about, she'll be like, she's like, why is D&D the best game ever? And she's like, oh, I know, because it's collaborative storytelling. It's a very beautifully primitive thing when you boil down what Dungeons and Dragons is. You have one person, the DM, who's like the essential narrator, who is allowing everyone else and encouraging them to interrupt their story.
Hmm.
You're continuing to ask people to interrupt and contribute to a story. And you build this beautiful world, this beautiful tapestry where there's laughter, there are tears, there's intensity. You have moments where characters are gathered around together trying to will another dead character's spirit back from the dead.
Right.
Long story short, in our campaign, we had a player, their character died. There was going to be a resurrection, and he sent me a text as it's going on saying, "I don't know," because he looked at the spell and he highlighted where it said, "If the spirit is willing," and he goes, "I don't know if my character is willing to be resurrected." And through the words these other players said, he thought, he's like, okay, yes, that would have brought him back. But in the moment he died, he was so ready to switch back to his old character that had retired. And like there were feelings in that session, and we're all over Zoom and whatnot. But I won't lie, there were tears, and it was powerful and it was beautiful. But that's what makes this game great. Like Jordan didn't know Nathan or Phoenix or Casey, who are three of the players in this campaign, just over 2 years ago when we began. He didn't know any of them. He hadn't met them. But he and one of my closest friends, Nathan Reed, I sat them next to each other because I went, they're going to hit it off. And they became fast friends. And
And now pretty much all we do is crack jokes about jujitsu.
like their characters in game are best friends.
Yep.
And these two have become very, very tight friends. And that's the kind of cool shit that gets forged through rolling dice and whatnot. So if you have that D&D player in your life, I can assure you, if you get them a D&D related gift, it's going to mean so much to them.
Hmm.
I think it's similar too to, we're all theater people.
Mhm.
It's very similar to that bond you get from, for those theater artists out there or artists, is the bond you get from working on a project together, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Is working on a show together or whatever. It's that yes, and it's that I'm going to offer this hand out and you're going to grab it and we're going to run together. We're going to build this together. We're going to explore these things that are maybe hard, maybe easy, maybe just fun, maybe like don't mean anything, but they do, because it's just like it's this light that we need right now. And I think especially right now, especially those artists in your life, that it's so important to you're that you're offering this gift, this understanding of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful. You mentioned the brisket, and like I think of how much it means to a meal or something like that. Something
Hmm.
you can even do that now. Like you can make something and take it to them and say, just heat this up. It's for you.
Like,
You know,
took your
our
dinner tonight. There you
Yeah,
go.
Yeah.
our DM mentioned he makes amazing bread. And he's like, yeah, I think
Yep.
I'm gonna make some bread for everyone and run it around. Would that be good? And we're like, mm-hmm.
And then like, yes,
Yes.
always bread, always bread.
Yeah.
Yes,
He's like,
yes,
yeah,
we
just
will eat your
before
food.
one of
Thank
our
you.
one of our games, just run it around. And we're like, yeah, down.
Like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. But so I didn't mean to lead us into all the feelings, but it is our last show of the year.
Last one of the year, guys.
It's been a year.
Like,
It has.
but it's been a lot of a year. It's been a lot of a show. Thank you so much for coming on and talking with us, Katie.
Yeah.
I can't think of many other people that I would want on our last show of the year.
Oh,
Uh,
thank
You have to
you.
come back
Thanks.
next year.
like you'll have to come back next year.
I'll be here.
But just thinking about all of the things that like culminate in this year, and it's so much. And I do hope for everyone watching, for everyone that's live, that's going to be watching later on YouTube or streaming it on our Twitch and our post videos, like, thank you so much.
Yeah, from the bottom of our hearts, like seriously, if you any amount of time you've been spending with us, we really appreciate it. Like, and if anything we've said has actually meant anything to you, that's awesome. We're glad.
It's our gift to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, cheesy.
Yeah, exactly. No refunds or exchanges on that, by the way. It's like goodwill.
Got this gift forever.
Yeah, it's like goodwill. You
It's
only get
I had to do that. I had to do that kind of thing at least once because I haven't done a kids show in like since February, so it's just in my soul and it needed to get out.
It's fair. It's fair. It's like a burp. Sometimes it just needs to come out.
Absolutely. Dumb. Super dumb.
You're right.
That's how we end this year.
2021.
Good. See you in 2020. And to tack on earlier, you're talking about Hanukkah. Hanukkah ended tonight at sundown. So
Right.
I hope you had a wonderful Hanukkah, all of you.
3 o'clock.
It was 3 o'clock here on the West Coast.
3 o'clock.
Yeah, Seattle sundown. Oh God, nature's
See the
weird.
sun again at noon tomorrow.
Maybe.
If we're lucky.
Right.
Oh God. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here with us. We
Yeah.
hope that you've enjoyed this shenanigans. I mean, we would just be doing this anyway and not recorded because I would go crazy if I didn't talk to my friends every once in a while. And that's most of the reason why that Bjorn and I try to get guests on is just so we can talk to our other friends.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. It's to have social interaction with awesome people.
Yeah, it's like with the joke excuse when Travis and Brian did Yeehaw Game Ranch was just because Travis had a new baby and wanted an excuse to play video games with his friend for an hour.
I mean,
And then you make it a show.
Reason
Yeah.
Critical Role started is because of All Work No Play. Because
Yeah.
we just wanted to spend some time together.
But yeah, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here, Katie.
Thank you.
And I said it when I was leading up to her intro, but Crafty McCrafter Shop, like,
Yeah.
not a sponsor, but she's here. Like,
Go
Here.
buy stuff.
Yeah, it's so it just opened on Sunday. It's brand new.
Get
But,
that- get that rookie year merch.
Go get it. But also, if you like want a custom dice bag, you just message me. I got you.
But yeah, that's gonna be it for our show for this year. Our last thing that we'll broadcast until 2021 will be our New Year's Eve rebroadcast of our one shot that we played on Saturday.
And I will be in the chat the entire
Mhm.
time. So
I'll be on the chat most of the time until eventually my COVID bubble and I start to get ridiculous.
and I always say it's like just come hang out and just keep me company for a while because while running the one shot, it has occurred to me I was aware of so little of it because anybody who doesn't DM, you miss so much when you're DMing because you're thinking about so many things. I'm like,
You just missed a bunch of especially a bunch of just the exchanged looks
what the fuck happened to my campaign today?
and all
I
the
don't know.
faces.
I was busy trying to think up voices for NPCs.
So yeah, come through and watch that, and join me in roasting the hell out of Bjorn, as the internet will eventually roast the hell out of me for my elbow drop. That was a thing that
I will
happened.
be there.
Watch the episode. It's
Please do.
it was a funny bad choice. But
You didn't die.
And that's on New Year's Eve, New Year's
Yes.
Day,
New Year's
Year's Eve.
Eve.
New Year's Eve.
We still haven't
Probably
nailed
start-
down exactly what time we're going to do it at. Probably either 5 or 6 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah.
But just keep up on our Facebook and our Instagram and on our Twitch channel to see when that's gonna happen. Look at that. Plugging the things that I never freaking plug.
I know, right? We'll be better about that in 2021. We'll be more active on that shit.
No, we won't. Well, we'll be more active on the shit. We won't be better at plugging it. I'm setting realistic goals. We'll be more active on it, but we'll be not better at telling you to go to it.
Truth.
But so we should end this because we are
We should.
rambling at this point. So
I mean,
Bjorn,
do something good for yourself this weekend and this holiday season and just get out of 2020 alive. We'll see you in 2021. Please join us.